Welcome to the bold analysis. I think it is 7 days countdown to Azimio la Umoja's mass action, they called. And I want us to look at what happened in Kabianga in the context of what has been said. Because the Kabianga University students really gave a very rough time to Education CS Ezekiel Machogu. And they are saying, we are ready for it. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our video. Thank you. I want to say asanteni sana for those who are supporting us from different parts of the globe. I also want to mention here that we are resuming our human interest channel, the Kevin exclusives. So if you have a human interest story that you want us to cover, you can share that with me in my WhatsApp number that I've just pinned in this video, and we are going to cover it. We just want to now to diversify content in the other channel. There is a looming crisis in education sector, and I think the government attempt to implement an increase in fee is going to backfire. The University Council, the Vice Chancellor's Council, Vice Chancellor's Councils that met in Mombasa last week, their proposal was misguided. Today in Kabianga University, I was a bit shocked that Ezekiel Machogu, the Education CS, did not even know how much is the university fee now. But you can tell us how much is it? And an attempt to say that they're going to increase the university fee backfired because the population there was getting a bit irritated, and he had to make a U-turn and say that government is not going to increase the university fee. I want you to listen to that video clip because it's going to help us in the other part of this analysis.
What time did we ever say, or my principal secretary, that government has come to a decision where we say the school fees should be increased from 16,000, the way it is now, to another figure? That again. Did that? I'm saying, a moment, the school fees, let me say this, the school fees is how much as of now? The school fees that you pay is only 16,000. How much do they pay? So what we are saying is that government has not increased school fees, and all that was done in Mombasa, the Vice Chancellor's Conference was just people giving their views, and as government we have not been able to make a decision on matter school fees. So government is continuing giving money the way we have.
Now the university student heckled him down. Not told him off about it, and he had to make a U-turn because they were actually against it. Remember on Monday, there was also another protest, I think, in two universities. One was Kisumu Polytechnic, and I think there's another one who also staged a protest about a plan to increase the fees. So this one, there is no other way we can say it because it is misguided. I want to say one thing. And I don't think this one we will stop saying because it is what it is. President William Ruto, or the other Kenya Kwanza administration, is getting something here wrong. And what they're getting wrong is this. Even if you want to implement the raft of changes or raft of policies to recover our economy, but I'm wondering why we are still saying that while the other day the president was saying that he has stabilized the economy. and is now working on reducing the cost of living. But even if you want to do these things, you don't just make changes once, everything. The same year, you want to revise downwards the HELB loan. The same year, you want to increase the university fees upwards once by almost 100%. The same year, you are struggling with junior secondary school and the transition has not been very successful. The same year, you are revising upwards the cost of fuel, and these things cannot be done once. And in fact, just confining myself to education sector, this thing is not going to be, even if you want to implement these changes, you want to increase fees so that the universities can be in a position to cover pending bills. At the same time, you're closing university satellites. You're also reviewing downwards the cutout points for the university entry. So what we are simply saying, and for those who would be sitting at the policy table, is pick one at a time. Hii mwaka anza kwanza kureduce your HELB loan, pima kunaenda aje, so that next time, even if you want to increase fees, you can't increase it by 100%. Wale wenye wako, sometimes I don't want to say that the state is not in reality, is not in touch with the reality. Kwa sababu, how many university students depend on, actually are in school because that fee is around 16. Now, many of students who sometimes get the privilege of going to universities are ones that really study through hardships. Wale when you can afford, is not a problem. Yeah, someone who could pay 60,000 for the son or daughter in a boarding school, in secondary school, can still afford to pay even in the university or even a private university. But there are those who afford in the public because of the way it can be achieved. Now, I want us to delve deep in this because this is a very emotional thing to the parents. This is the danger. And I think for those who are close to Kenya Kwanza, they should just take it. That the inflation spree is choking the citizens. And it is choking the citizens because the same parent who is going to pay for the university fee for the daughter is the same parent that is still having another person probably in junior secondary school, and the same parent probably still having two in the secondary, second school, and the same parent who is still buying food for the family back home is the same person that is still alipa anajaza fuel akienda job. So these things revolves around. We cannot differentiate. We should not have a narrow thinking, and that's the problem. That ile cost ya fee haita affect huku food. We need to just be very sensitive that these costs are interdependent, or rather they are related. One affects the other. So, for example, the rationale behind the premise of increasing the fees is lecturers, is the issue of universities struggling with pending bills, which is true. But why don't government employ more lecturers in public universities, and serve them, pay more with the taxpayers' money, just the same way they're employing doctors, they're employing teachers in secondary and primary school. Doctors are paid huge amounts of money. The same, I know job group for lecturers are high. But ukiangalia ukweli, ile numbers of lecturers wenye wako kwa universities wenye andiko na gava ni wachache compared to the rest, to the other sector. So why don't we employ? So that universities can be relieved of, by the huge chunk of pending bills in universities. Go and just find out. I was just reading that article the other day. That the huge chunk of the pending bills that University Council is complaining about is part-time lecturers and non-teaching staff. Yes. So we have a lot of it. I've always not understood, why are we having cleaners in universities? Why are we having cleaners? Why don't we find a way we can use, because we've taken people to universities and they're just sitting there idle. No, mtu ni kuamka, uoga anatoka hostel. No, we were in that environment. Kwani in secondary school, in primary school, people do it. Why should we employ janitors in the hostels, to clean? Watch our clean. Reduce, because they can clean it. Or give the hostel, let them clean. Reduce the costs in the universities. The reason why there is a danger, and I think the state should actually see the kind of hostility on this, is many youths or many graduates, not many graduates, many university students are going to crash out of the university. And you know where they will go? They will go to the street. They'll join the protests. Remember, many are staying, many students in schools, nowadays the hostels are not enough. So wanaishi nje, they're paying rent outside, private residents, renting. They're renting their space, the rooms, just like the other Kenyans. So if you go around university, you realize that hapo biashara ya nyumba zina increase because students are renting. Even us, we only stayed in university for only 1 year. I think I only stayed in first year when I wasn't in Masai Mara. Then after that, we have to go. We had to go to rent outside. So the hostels are Zitoshi. They're staying outside where they're paying competitive rent, just like the other working Kenyans. That's the truth. University students are paying rent on competitive rates. There is nowhere you'll be told that because you're a university student, you'll pay less than yule mwingine. So it's still within the system. So if you're reviewing help downwards, which is supposed to help these students at least walipe fees hapa kidogo and the rent, and you're increasing the fees, then you're simply telling this gentleman that you can leave. Hatasoma. And with the rate of unemployment, people are going to lose hope. And when they come in the street, it will come to what I can say, the youth revolution. Now, the youth revolution would actually overcome or rather replace the economic revolution or even bolster the economic revolution that has been led by the political class. So that's why we need to take the danger that, we cannot just do things hapa. We just say, just wake up and we have an opinion, we convert our opinions to be policies and then we implement it. We cannot run that way. The days of protests are over, but if you're not careful, we'll actually return them. Graduates are out and employed and are just roaming the streets with envelopes. So the situation is dire. The situation is dire. And we cannot control it by withdrawing services. If parents are paying, at least even if people are paying taxes, you're increasing the taxes, then don't then increase the statutory fees, like costs, like fees, because that is choking the citizens. That's my opinion, guys.